So guys, it's a new league, a new season, some new players, but this transfer window has not gone well for us. I have a feeling we are going to struggle this season. So guys, welcome back to the Stones Rolling On Up. Hope you're all doing well. I've got two words really that can describe how our pre-season with Maidstone has gone with our transfers and so on, and they are transfer embargo. We have been screwed over quite literally by our own board as they decided they wanted to sell the club, which is fair enough. However, they decided to do it on the 30th of June. So basically since the 30th of June we've been under a transfer embargo while a club takeover happened, and it's still going on and we're now at the 1st of August. So yeah, it's going great. Thankfully, I managed to make a couple of signings before the embargo went into place. So we had a couple of signings that then did get over the line, thankfully. Otherwise we would be majorly screwed. But as a result of the embargo coming into place, some of the players that I was planning on releasing, I had to kind of panic and re-sign them to new deals because otherwise we were going to have no players available for our squad. So we have got a squad which is capable, but it's nowhere near as strong as I wanted it to be, basically. I'll go straight into the transfers now so you can have a look at who we've brought in. So if we go onto our transfer history, we've made 4 signings currently. There is actually a 5th which has been made, but he's not going to be arriving currently until January. But I may be able to get him sooner depending on when this embargo finishes, essentially. So I'll go through them one by one. So first up is Oliver Denham, who is a really decent centre-back that we've got from Manchester United. He's only 18 as well, so he's only going to get better. So you can see here, for our league, he's a 4-star player and he's got some really nice attributes for playing as a centre-back on cover. So basically, he's going to come in to become the replacement for Lewis Knight, who I have kept on. He agreed a contract in the end, but he's now going to be the backup player. Whereas Denham is going to come and slot straight into that first choice centre-back alongside Ella Kobe. He, as I say, has some really decent attributes. Physically, he's very good for this level. Mentally, he's got all the right attributes in the right places. And then technically, he's got some really good tackling and marking there. His heading's not great, but as a cover centre-back, that's not as bad. As long as he's got decent pace, which he has, and he's got good tackling and marking, he should be good at that. We've also brought in a player for Southampton. He's going to be a bit of a utility player. I kind of, when I saw him, thought he could be a defensive midfielder because we had, obviously, Ruben Sammet last season. But because of his loan, he didn't want to sign a contract with us. He wanted far too much money after his contract with, I think, Sunderland expired. So we couldn't get him in. So I brought in this player here from Southampton, Lucas Defies. I think it's Defies. He's Belgian and he's a very much utility player, and currently, unless we can get another defensive midfielder in, he will be our defensive midfielder. I'm not overly thrilled about it, but he can still do a job. So if we need to, he'll be able to play there for us. Currently he will be until possibly, if this embargo gets lifted, we can bring someone else in. As a ball-winning midfielder on defend, you can see he's got like decent attributes for that role. He can do the job. He is supposedly as a Segundo Volante, which I won't be playing him as, but he can play further forward as either a box-to-box or a Mazzala, which I may take him up on, essentially. We have got another central midfielder in to replace Andre Boucard, who I'll show you in a second, who is a really decent player, but as an extra option, Lucas Defies here is really decent. I may just rename him to Lucas, because I'm going to keep saying that surname wrong. I'll have a think about that as we go on. But yeah, Lucas here is very decent for us. Next on the list, we have Alfie Payne. This is, to be honest, the player I'm most excited about. He is a really decent player from Norwich here. He is a 4-star central midfielder, and you can see from his attributes here, he is really good. I think the scouts rated him as either a Vanarama, like top Vanarama player, or a League 2 player. Yes, a Vanarama player, but the ability to, or potential to become a good League 2 player. He is very good for his age. He's also a good leader as well, which is quite decent. So at 20, on not a massive wage of £750 a week, I'm really pleased with this pickup. His physicals aren't amazing, but they're not bad. But technicals and mentals are really top for this level. So I'm really pleased with that. He can slot straight into that deep line playmaker role. He can play a bit more advanced if we need him to, much like Andre Boucard did for us last season. So overall, pretty much a straight replacement for Boucard. Boucard in the end retired anyway, so I couldn't sign him to a new contract. But when I did initially try, he wanted about £1,000. So the fact I've got Alfie Payne in here for 750 is really good. So I'm really pleased with that. The only other major signing we got in was this player Joel Senior, who is a right back. And he's not quite as gifted going forward as Charlie Seaman was. Unfortunately, I couldn't get him back in. Bournemouth won't give him back to us, so we won't be seeing Charlie Seaman make any more mess for us, unfortunately. But Joel Senior here will be able to do a good job for us. He's a 4-star player, so basically the same ability as what Seaman had. He's a bit of a different type of fullback. He's more defensively minded, so it might be quite good. I'm still going to play him as either a wing-back or fullback on support, as I feel he should be able to offer more than what Chezers can going forward. So I'm going to play him as that wing-back or fullback support on the right. And his physicals are really decent for this level, so he should be able to do a good job. And again, much like the players we've already brought in, not on a huge wage either, so pretty good pick up there. We also have managed to get Stephen Kinsella back on loan. We've extended his loan until the winter currently. We might be able to get him on a little bit longer once we get out of the embargo. I'm going to try and see what we can do, because Bohemians, who we've got him on loan from, extended his contract, so we may be able to get him on for another year or so if needed. So I'm quite pleased with that pickup. He just gives us more depth, and he's a good player, as we found out last season. That essentially wraps up all of the transfers we've actually got in currently. The only other player we've got is this Irish player from Cork City, Ronan Hurley, who is a left back who either would come in as being first choice or backup. I haven't decided yet. He's currently joining on the 1st of December, randomly. That's just when his contract with Cork City expires. But I'm hoping, as I say, once we get out of this embargo, I might be able to pick him up for maybe about 5-6 grand. When I looked towards the end of June, they wanted about 10 or 12 grand for him. So I decided to wait to see if I could get him a bit cheaper. But then the embargo came into place and I couldn't get him. So I'm hoping once it ends, we might be able to pick him up for about 5 or 6 grand. We'll have to wait and see. That essentially wraps up our transfers. However, I will just mention this right now. We have a very unhappy Jamie Thomas. He's still here, but we've had a couple of bids. Shrewsbury in League 1, I believe. I think Shrewsbury in League 1. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, Shrewsbury in League 1 put in a bid of about 100,000 and another bid of about 120,000. And I rejected it. Jamie Thomas kicked up a fuss, said he wants to leave. I said, what will it take to keep him here? He says he wants to be in League 1. So basically, we can't do anything to keep him. He got the arse about it, essentially. He actually would let me offer him a contract at one point, but he wanted stupid money. I couldn't afford it. So we're in a bit of a predicament. Either we're going to be in a case where we're going to have to sell him. I basically said to him, he's not going unless someone pays his release fee of 275,000. Number one, because he's worth that money. And number two, because if he goes, we're going to be absolutely screwed because we can't bring anyone in at the moment. So I haven't even been able to bring in another backup striker. I've had to bring a Canby back in for another year to be that backup because of the embargo. And if Thomas goes, we are going to be absolutely screwed. So I'm hoping that Shrewsbury don't trigger that release clause just yet. If they do it in January, fine, whatever. If he goes on a free, fine, whatever, because we need to keep him here and then eventually get another striker in. I can't go just having a Canby. We'll be absolutely screwed. But that essentially wraps up the pre-season. As I say, it's not great. The league, as a result of our signings, reckons we'll come, I believe, 19th. So it's going to be a very difficult season this year. Very different to last year. But hopefully we can have a few good performances. And currently you'll see, though, at the moment, ranked first place in the league, or reckoned to be first place, is Notts County. And that's who we have today in our first game of the National League. So that's going to be really, really good fun. But let's get into the tactics then and see how we're going to line up against Notts County. So then for the Notts County game, guys, we are going as strong as we can do. We kind of need to try and see if we can get off to a good start if possible. I'm going to give majority of the players who played last season a start here. The exception being with those who obviously left and in the odd place where we need to play other players. So essentially what we've done is we've got Cole in net. We've got newly picked up Joel Senior at right back. We have still got Gavin Hoyt as a backup, so that's what he's going to be doing. And then we've got Denham at right centre-back, Elokobi on the left centre-back, with Chezers at left-back. You can see Elokobi's rating is starting to drop now. Obviously, where he's getting older, his physicals are dropping off. So it may be a case we have to look to bring someone in or possibly replace him as the season goes on. Maybe bring in Ross Marshall to become the starter instead of Elokobi, we'll have to see. But then we've also got Lucas Defies, who I made this nickname the Belgian, to be totally honest. He's at the ball-winning midfielder role currently. We've then got Sam Corn inside who can't. I'm not going to start Alfie Payne yet. I think it makes more sense to have the Carolera role with Sam Corn than it does to have Alfie Payne playing as deep-lying playmaker. especially against Notts County anyway, away at Notts County, because I have a feeling they could smash us here, if I'm totally honest. This could be like a 3-0 type job. Hopefully not, but we'll have to see. And then we've got the usual front three of a Malazor on the right, Wishart on the left, and Jamie Thomas, who's very upset, up front. On the bench, alongside Payne, Hoyt and Marshall, is Stephen Catella and Ibi Akambi. So all these players are going to be starting today. It will be the only match that we have today, with it being obviously with the transfer beforehand. We're going to have time for the one game. So hopefully this will be a good one for us to get the season started with. Also, before we get going, I will just mention that we do still have a lot of money available. There's about 6-7 grand in the wage bill available for us to spend. So providing the embargo is lifted, hopefully by next episode we'll have a few more signings that have come into the squad. But let's get into this game here against Notts County and see how they line up. So let's submit the team then for the Notts County game. We'll see how they decide to face off against us here. Now, of course, we did face them last season, but it was off screen, so you guys didn't get to see that in the FA Trophy, and they did smash us 3-1. So I won't be over surprised if it's slightly similar result, to be honest. They're going a 4-2-3-1, which I think is how they played against us the last time we faced them as well. So overall, this could be quite a difficult match. Let's get into the dressing room here. I'm going to say that they're going to be keen to revenge what happened, because of course they say we did lose last time. I'm going to say I have faith. Not brilliant. It's not too bad a team talk, actually. That's not too bad. Let's get into it though. I'm amazed Jamie Thomas actually tried to listen to me, considering he's not overly happy. But we are away here in our purple at Notts County for the opening game of the season. You might notice, by the way, lads, slightly different looking attire I have on here. It's another day. It's not the same day I was recording on, so I've hopefully, having loaded up the game with preparing at the start of the season today, we get off to a good start. I'm not expecting much though, to be honest with you, but we'll see how we do. So Notts County on the ball. We're only just over 10 minutes in, and it's only the first highlight of the game. He's lumped it up, and he's laid it, not a brilliant layoff there from their striker. Their striker, Greenacre, I think he is. He banged goals in for fun against us the first time. Oh, dearie me. Dearie me. That was very, very close there. Yes, their striker, he banged it was either 2 goals or even a hat-trick against us when we played him the first time. So he's quite good. He's their striker up front. I think his name's Greenacre. So we'll have to see if we can contain him today, but not too sure. Let's see if I can get him on. I can't select him. No. No, Green Ridge. His name is not Greenacre, Green Ridge. And yeah, he's very, very pacey up front. So if it looks like they're going to play long balls over the top, which so far it looks like they might try, I may drop the line back as the game goes on. Have to see how it goes. And Malazor on a little bit of a mazy run. He's gone for it. Not a brilliant effort there. Not bad though from him. If anyone's interested as well, by the way, we also came up in the end with Hemel Hempstead. It ended up becoming a 2-horse race in the playoffs between Hemel Hempstead and Chelmsford. So obviously second and third ended up facing each other off in the playoff final. And it was a bit of a ridiculous final that they ended up playing. It was a 4-3 between the two of them with, I think, a red card and about 8 yellow cards. So it was a bit of a manic playoff final from the two of them. It was pretty crazy, but looks like, unlike that game, which was the playoff final between Hemel Hempstead and Chelmsford, our game is not very manic and it's pretty dead. 0-0 there. We've not had a single shot on target, but we're not losing. So that's I'm quite pleased with that, to be totally honest. I'm going to say the same as we said before the game. Keen to avenge what happened. Defensively, going to say a lot more to come. I'm going to actually say that they could do with doing a bit better. And most team likes that, so that's pretty good. Let's get into the second half. Not going to change anything yet. I'll be honest, I will take a draw, take a 0-0 all day long. It's a decent start, clean sheet as well. You also notice that Diffuse, however you say his name's nicknamed the Belgian now, over here as our DM. I did go for it in the end and nickname him that. I felt it just was easier to say than his actual name. But Malazor has gone on a run here. Malazor to Thomas, Sam Corn. He scored! Sam Corn, get in there! Get in there, Sam! Oh, what a goal. What a great goal that is. Opening day of the season, Sam has scored, assist on Jamie Thomas. We are leading against the predicted leaders of the league in Notts County. Get in there. Oh, brilliant. Really, really good stuff there, lads. I'm very surprised. Very surprised, but regardless, really well done. Jamie Thomas on the free kick. I have put him on free kicks now, as he's actually got quite decent free kick attributes. So I've put him on it. Not a bad little effort from him. Would have been a lovely start for his campaign here. I believe as well that the media, when they do all their kind of pre-season expectations, they actually predicted Jamie would be up in the top goal scorers. I think they predicted him second or third. So it shows how good he is. The fact that coming up into this league, they reckon he's going to be one of the top goal scorers in the league despite playing for a bottom half team. We're whizzing through the game now. I'm going to make some subs. I'm going to take off Senior as he is booked, and I'm going to bring on Hoytman and make him defensive. I'm going to take him off the overlap. And I'm going to take off Saidu for Alfie. I'll put him as that advanced playmaker, and I think that's what I'm going to go for now. And we'll see how that does us. I might put us on, in fact actually I'm going to do it. Let's put us on cautious and we'll drop our line back. To make it so that they're pacey striker. In fact actually Greenwood just come off now. Cool, he's very good, isn't he? That Wooten up front for them. We're whizzing through. I mean, Wishart's knackered. Let's take him off for Kinsella. Let's put a bit of time wasting on. Oh, come on. If we can get a win on the opening day, this will be fantastic. Completely unexpected 3 points. Come on. Defensive. Come on. Come on. It's just going all the way. Get in there. Get in there. Oh, it's brilliant. Oh, can't believe we've got a win on the opening day up against Notts County, who are so strong. Oh, Team Talk, people written us off and we've got the result. Well done. That is fantastic. We're in the top half of the league. We've got 3 points nice and early on. We've already got that win under our belt. I mean, I think we got quite lucky in that, to be honest. I mean, let's have a quick look at the what the actual stats were in that game. Actually, it was quite even, actually. 16 shots from Notts County to our 14, but regardless, it was a very tight game. We managed to edge it, as the news report here says. Really happy with that. Let's have a look at the schedule, though, and see what we'll come back for in terms of our next episode. So if we go into the schedule, so obviously we've got a lot of games coming up for August, and I'm thinking, though, we may well skip the games in August and come back for the first ones in September, so we can then see if I manage to get any more transfers in. I think, obviously, with this embargo in place, it makes sense for us to come back kind of after the embargo hopefully should be lifted, and then we may then have a full squad assembled. I mean, I think, as I say, that might have been a bit of a lucky win there, so I wouldn't expect to come back and see us kind of challenging at the top, but regardless, really pleased with that win. But yeah, we'll come back in beginning of September for Morecambe, who obviously knocked us out in the FA Cup, see if we can get some redemption against Morecambe here, and also we'll place off against Barrow as well. So 2 away games, 2 tough away games, but 2 games which will be interesting to see. So guys, that just about wraps up our episode here, and obviously our return to our new season. Of course, we're in a new league. Maidstone have returned back to the Vanarama National, of course, the league they were in before the beginning of FM20. So hopefully we can do a little bit better than what they did in real life in the 18-19 season. But we'll have to hopefully see. I mean, we've got off a very good start with Notts County there, with a very decent 1-0, which I cannot quite believe, but very happy. I mean, as I say, I'm not going to start getting all unrealistic and expect us to now be challenging for the playoffs after we've beaten the predicted league leaders, but still, it's a good start. Hopefully it means we can build on that and get a few wins under our belt nice and early on, get some points on the board and make it so we're not ending up drifting towards the bottom of the table or anything like that. But as I say, we'll come back for early September and hopefully we'll have some more players in the team by then. Hopefully that transfer embargo will be gone. If it isn't, then of course it'll be the same squad we've already got. But if it is lifted, then hopefully we'll have some new lads that have come in. But if you've enjoyed the video, guys, please do leave a like on it. And if you've got anything you want to say about any of the players we brought in or any suggestions as well, I say if that embargo is lifted, we may well be able to take a look at some other suggestions. So if you've got any, do put them down in the comments below and I'll make sure to read every single one. And if you're looking forward to the rest of the season and you want to see more, do subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with it as well. But thanks very much for watching, guys. See you next time.